Wouldn't it be terrible for the
Good afternoon and welcome to our EEAP webinar. I'm Rick Roman.
And Michael Kraus.
And we are excited to be back with you. We've taken a little bit of a hiatus, Michael, because we've been working on some things for you that are actually going to be very exciting. And we've really been locked up in the basement to make sure that we get this thing done and be able to kick it off for the new year.
It's been very crowded in the basement, Rick, to say the least. And nobody likes being locked in the basement. But as you can see, the background has changed. We're going to explain everything. So you're probably thinking, am I in an EEAP webinar or not? Rick's got the EEAP shirt. I'm sporting the GotSafety shirt. We're going to explain everything to you.
We certainly are. And going forward, the EEAP webinars will actually be brought to you as GotSafety webinars. But anyway, some of you may have already gotten some inklings of what the GotSafety is. You might be seeing some of our logos in our emails that we're going back and forth. We've already converted a few people as we've started the new year.
Yes.
But basically, we're wanting to make this announcement and show you guys this great new thing that all of the EEAP clients are going to be getting, and just make sure that this is a nice, smooth transition for you, and just let you see what we've got coming up for you with the new year.
Yep.
So let's start off, Mike. Tell the people here, exactly who is and what is GotSafety.
Well, basically, to answer that, let me just tell you a little bit of background. Back in 1990, EEAP was started by a man named Thomas Carlisle. Thomas Carlisle formed back in 1990 EEAP, and then we incorporated in 91, but we started in 1990. The logic of this, we built a safety company and we went through it. About 13 to 15 years ago, I started working for Thomas Carlisle, also my uncle in full disclosure, and Uncle Tom, as we like to call him, started to teach me the nature of the business. I was selling it, I was doing service work, I did the defense, and as I went through it and ended up buying the company from Thomas Carlisle, I found that through the years that all the companies we represented, Rick, they all had the same problem.
Yes, they did.
That problem was that once we came in and did the training, they would put their sign-off sheets, the employee would sign their name, and sometimes they could read the employee's name and sometimes they couldn't, and then they would sign them. They would file these away. And so for years, I saw that to be a problem because on the defensive side, Rick, I would say, hey, we need those sign-off sheets. I need to be able to prove training on Joe out in the field. And to find them was insane. Not that the ladies in the office, Rick, didn't do their job, but sometimes they would go to another job, paper would get lost, the guys in the field would get the signed, and they just wouldn't bring them back.
Very difficult to get the sign-offs in the field,
It was
especially
terrible
for contractors.
It really was. And so I knew we needed to do a better system. And so over time, what I did is we instituted this process where we started taking pictures of the client's sign-off sheets at the sites. And then we would transfer that over picture to a PDF file and then upload it to a website so we could start saving your records. The problem with that was, man, in the website that we do is so rudimentary because the problem you had is if you needed to find Joe's signature when he got hurt, you still had to open up all the sheets and go through them one by one and pray that you could read Joe's printing, then to read his signature to make sure it worked. I mean, it was really, in a lot of ways, the beginning, but very difficult. So we created something called the EEAP.mobi app that we've been pushing for the last few years. That solved some great problems for you. It solved the nature of the collecting of the signature in a way that could be read, okay? It was wonderful to solve that problem. But the difficulty that brought on in its own right was basically this. After about 8 months to a year of that, a client, as we looked in, had all these signatures. They could not be searched individually. You couldn't look up Joe's name. You literally, to find Joe's name, had to open up almost every individual signature.
Of course.
That problem, I knew, needed to be updated and changed. And so I started looking at different options and what we could do and what we could afford and what we could get to. And so we hired a technical team inside that could get us there. And we realized the problem with what we have, because we're safety professionals first, not programmers, right, Rick?
Right.
We decided we needed a database-based system.
Correct. So it was a matter of not being able to upgrade the current, because it was just the platform was an entirely different setup than this new database app that we've created.
It was.
So it really had to be started over from the ground up.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate part, Rick. The technical guys did tell us that.
We did, and it took some time. But the beauty is that along the way, and because of our clients that were using it and some of the things that they really would have liked to have seen it, we have really added some fantastic features that we really think is going to make things really great for you guys. whether you're out in the field or in your warehouse. There's going to be some great things here.
If you're a client of EEAP, you're going to get everything we're telling you today at no charge. I want to make sure that's clear on the record. This isn't an upsell webinar. We are telling you that we're bringing this because I know it'll
Yes.
make your system better, and so there's no charge over the basic EEAP fee you're paying already. And so let's just make that clear. But Rick, you're right. There was no way for me to go backwards. We had built a system that was good for its time, maybe a little while, but it needed to be more.
So we've made these upgrades, and along the way, because of the response that we got with the original, even with its limitations, tell folks a little bit about what you decided to do with the app and what we've done around the country.
The logic came to us that we needed to be able to develop it, and when we looked at the cost to be able to develop what we've created, and it was incredibly expensive, we decided that we needed to be a national product. And since I did not want to take EEAP on a national circuit around, it is a California-based, primarily based company that handles that, we decided to open up a business called GotSafety.com. Now, GotSafety.com is us. Right, Rick?
Right. We've not partnered with anybody.
No.
EEAP, it's all the same. GotSafety is literally the technology arm,
Yes.
and on the national scale, it would be GotSafety because we're doing the on-site services. The defense work that we do is strictly California-based, and the rest of the nation will be able to get them basically the web-based product.
And so what we did is we developed that, and like Rick said, it's the same. The lessons in EEAP are the lessons in GotSafety. The documentation in EEAP are the documentation in GotSafety. They are the same. It's just the technology arm, and I wanted to rebrand the logo and the name because it's a green cross. It looks like a mobile dispensary as we drive around, and I just really didn't feel like we should roll around the country like that. So we developed another logo and color scheme altogether. So for those who may be confused or wondering what's happening, that is it. Trust me, our EEAP car still will be the green cross pulling up to your businesses, so you'll still be able to love those. And my guys will all wear EEAP shirts when they come to your service fees and stuff like that. But on the technology side of it, yes, you will see GotSafety.
And the documentation for the state, for the rest of the country that we've done?
Oh, yes, Rick. The documentation for the rest of the country, once we were able to launch this, about 2 years ago, we started having to write all the documentation. And we went through a lot of different cycles, but we are proud to say we've written documentation for every state in the country. And so the coolness with that is we do not tackle the federal OSHA states, but the individual states like Washington or whatever you have that they have their own specific OSHA
like
rules.
California has its own.
Like California's have their own. So our team here has been expanded to be able to have this. We found a new team that was able to help us in a lot of different ways. We utilized some of the old team, and we were just able to make this really, really rich for you so that no matter where your locations are at, if you have other locations somewhere else, we're able to write documentation for you. Just call us and ask us for that, and we can help you and give you a quote if you need other documentations in other states.
Exactly.
But this GotSafety product can be used in any state in the country.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about the migration, because obviously we can't flip a switch here. This isn't going to happen overnight. In fact, some of the folks already have it. We've gotten a few.
Yes.
We've already started the migration process. But talk a little bit about how that's going to happen and what we can do for the folks here that are attending with us today.
Well, I don't want to frustrate the girls in the office, Rick. You know, they're always in the production and stuff. Our sweet Lori McFay, which is just a dynamo. She is in charge of making sure the production goes well in the pushing over to the next system. But basically is this. We're looking at anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And I know that's a big spread. It just depends on the problems we have and the technical issues. Probably 4 to 5 months if we really got it down. But basically, we're going from A to Z in the alphabet. We are taking everybody from A to Z, and like Rick said, some of you already have it, so we're already down the alphabet quite a bit. But we're just starting going down one by one and switching them over. Nothing is changing dramatically in what they're doing besides they get to use this better technology. Our thought about this webinar today was to throw it out on the table and let you know about it. And that if any of you out there wanted to get ahead of the line because you just thought this was super cool, and we're hoping you do, and you wanted to use it right now, you can contact us and ask to be put ahead of the line, and we'll do that. Now,
Just send me an email.
Yep, it's going to be rick@eeap.net. If you send rick@eeap.net an email saying, hey, put me ahead of the line, I'm with company da-da-da-da-da, we'll do that. We'll just put you ahead of the line, and we'll get you guys done first so that you can start working it out. It's just something we're incredibly proud of, and we love it today.
So the uploading of the documentation aspect, it takes a little longer, but if you notify me, we'll get you to the front of the line within a couple of days. We'll have you set up. You'll get an email giving you the access. We're keeping the passwords the same,
Yes.
so that it stays nice and simple, but we'll get you all of that so you can at least start accessing and utilizing the app.
Yeah.
And then once we get your documentation put in, which might take a couple of weeks after, once we get that done, you'll get another email letting you know that your new documentation is ready to go in the app.
And this was Rick's idea, and I think it's absolutely genius. Like he said, your username and login for your client center online and on the app of the EEAP.mobi is the same as the GotSafety. So you won't have to learn, your employees won't have to learn more. Once you get this set up, you'll just be able to open up or download from the Google Play Store or Apple.
Exactly.
The GotSafety app, and it's one word, Rick, one word.
Yep,
GotSafety. When you do the search results on that, and you'll be able to pull that and use your old username and password, and that'll pop. Once we set it up, though, right, Rick?
Yes. And the other thing is that we will also, to keep it simple, we will be placing a login to the GotSafety on the EEAP website.
Yes.
So you'll be able to go from the GotSafety website or the EEAP website to access, and also on your app. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing so you folks can kind of get an understanding, and we're going to kind of briefly give you an overview of the things that are available in there. And then, like Michael said, over the next couple of months, we'll be doing some more webinars, getting a little deeper on how to do some of the things, answer questions that you have. And we also, again, we have a GotSafety YouTube channel with tutorials. But let's go ahead and switch over and take a look at that here, if we could.
All right, Rick. I love this part.
Yeah,
it's like the infinity mirror that's going to happen. Oh, how wonderful is that?
So there you go. All right. So here is the GotSafety website and our mobile app over here on the right. So the cool thing you'll notice here, when you go to log in, unlike with the EEAP setup, there's actually an admin login and an employee login. Our admin login is truly an admin. So that is not an area that you live in and do lessons from and view documentation from. It's really where you do some of the functions we're going to show you today. And when you want to do lessons or review your documentation, you're either going to go onto your app or into the employee login. So let's go ahead and bring up a sample client center that we've got here with the employee login. And we're going to go here.
And just so you remember, we do have the GotSafety website, but you'll be able to go to your EEAP website that you always go to, EEAP.com, and there will be a GotSafety login. So you wouldn't need to go here to log in.
So as you see here, once you're logged in, so if you've got folks in the office, they can actually do a lesson right off of their PC. You can go here to the lessons, and just like in the old, you'll have your whole library of lessons here, and you have the suggestion area here. And one of the cool things that you'll see, another thing that we've been working on, well, there's the PDF right there of it, but here's the cool thing. Over here, we have added, we are doing audio lessons. Now, we've done the English versions for just about every lesson that we have, and we're going to be working on the Spanish. But that means from the app or on their PC, Michael.
Right, Rick. You'll be able to listen to these things from your smartphone, tablet, or your PC in English and Spanish. So like Rick said, the Englishes are on there and on your PC, and they're being uploaded the next, 72 hours, Rick, possibly, to the app. It's an update that'll be coming up to the app on your smartphones and tablets, and the English audio will be there. The Spanish is going to come later this year,
right?
And we're going to have all the Spanish. That way, your people out there, if your trainers don't speak Spanish or you just want them to listen to it, they can. That'll be awesome.
So the cool thing is here from the PC, once you have read your lesson, now, and we'll show you in the admin, the first thing you're going to have to do is upload all of your employees, but it's very simple. We'll show you. But what you're going to do in here is you're going to type in your name, and you'll see I just started typing my name, and there I go. I pop up. There's my name. I can take my mouse, sign my name, boom.
So the great thing about this database system, like Rick talked about, is when you first get this, you're going to want to upload all of your employees to it. And that'll attach them an employee number. So you can you're going to have to assign them an employee number, because I know a lot of you guys have people that are named the same day. The amount of Michael Crawleys out there in the world isn't maybe as common as others. And so in that prospect, you're able to upload the names. Rick, are you going to the admin now, sir?
I'm going to the admin.
So Rick's opening the admin now. You can see in safety lessons, he's going to show you the basicness in the admin screen, how to add an employee. Rick is going to go to what area, Rick?
So I'm going to go to the employee management, and initially you'll go, and again, there's a tutorial on this. You'll go to your bulk upload, and there's a sample CSV file. You're literally putting in all of your employee names and an employee ID number, and then you're going to upload it. And then going forward, you would just go here to add an employee, and you could literally just add one person one at a time. You have an employee management here, which is going to show you your whole roster. You can make people inactive, so that way when you, as employees are no longer with you, you can inactivate it, but yet still keep their records, because if you delete them, the records are going to be gone, but you can deactivate them, and then that way it'll make your drop-down list a little shorter when you do that.
Now, the cool thing here is we're not looking to get into the weeds right here, because my gosh, there's going to be enough weeds to drive you nuts. But the cool thing is that training lesson that Rick did. Rick, can you find that there for us, sir?
So this, well, actually right here, this is, we're under the employee, but if I go to safety lessons and I go to manage training lessons, training records, and then we will go right here by date. I'll sort them. I'm going to be right up here.
So there's the training record at the top. You hit the little eye icon.
And there it is with the signature.
It brings up his signature. It brings up the name of the lesson and the timestamp and all that business.
Exactly. So you can do that. There's all different ways that you can sort. You can type up just an employee's individual name, and you'll be able to just get all of the training that individual did. So if you go here.
So the cool thing about this is now when you do this training session, and I'm going to make this clear, as Rick is going to be on his phone looking up a safety lesson and showing you how to do it. As your employees are going through this, you'll see that he can scan and read the lesson, and when he gets to the bottom, it's as simple as the EEAP.mobi app that you may have been using. You hit the sign-off button. He's then going to type into the search engine his basic name, and you'll see it pops up there, Rick. We know it's his name because you can see his ID number that says 002. He comes to the bottom, and he hits I agree. Now, at this point, you could pass the phone around to another employee that was taking the same training lesson, and you could basically do one phone and train 10, 15, 20 guys, however many guys you wanted. And that would capture the signature in the database. Now, this is the coolest thing about it. Now, for the first time ever, you can track the employee's training records by the date they were done, by the name of the employee, or the title of the lesson. And that is super cool. To be able to figure out all the employees in your company that have been e-illness trained or lockout, tagout trained, you now just type in that thing and bippity-boppity-boo, it rocks and rolls. And so Rick has got a new training thing here he's going to put up, and we'll be able to see all the training records as you see going down here. And that is just really the spot that we built this off of. We built it to make it user-friendly so that you could see all the records and all the places in place. Now, let's say you're saying to yourself, Joe's got hurt and I need to see all his records. You can export at the top files. You can export all these training records into an Excel file or a PDF file so that you can have them all in one spot. And when you do that, they also get moved with the signature in the Excel file, which is awesome. So let's say you have an OSHA problem, the guys get hurt, and we want to use the independent employee act defense. We're capable of getting all the training records in one big time and have it there ready for the OSHA inspector so he can see the training. I'm telling you that so far all the district managers that we've implemented this to, we've shown, have just, been blown away by it and just love the access of it, the user-friendly access of it. So that is the basics of the safety lesson as you see it on there.
So another cool feature that we added here is that we understand that we have over 500 lessons and that not every one of them pertain to your particular industry. So we have created a feature here that allows you to go in and deactivate lessons. Now, there's going to be a button in here to deactivate all. You can use this numerous ways. You can just...
We don't have that button yet, do we, Rick?
Not to deactivate all, But right now you can deactivate any lessons. By default, all lessons will be on, and as we add lessons, they will be on, but you can go in and deactivate.
Now, the reason why we didn't put it all in the beginning is somebody asked us for this option, and we moved very quickly, and that's the great thing. So when you guys utilize this, you have a request, put them in here, and our IT team can move things. But the cool thing was this. People said, I only want on the phone the lessons we use. And so that's why we built this portion of it. So you could have, let's say you only really want them to do this month 20 lessons or the 5 lessons or whatever that number is. You can deselect everything and only select those so that they can take those trainings. Or you can just leave them all on your phone. It really is up to you.
Right. You can customize this literally to whatever your wants are. So that's it on the safety lessons. We did one with the app and here as well. Your documentation is gonna show up.
Your documentation is going to show up. When he hits the documentation tab, you're going to see that you can have all your documentation on the client center, on the computer version, and on the cell phone that you see here on your right that I'm moving around. So you have the documentation to it, just like you did before. We're going to have those separated into job sites or locations. So if you have multiple job sites or locations, you can do that. It's no big deal at all. That'll happen. And then some of the other things we're going to get into right now is the forms and the repository tree so that you can figure out what that is. And so as we do all this, you're going to be able to see the lock and loading of this nature. Now, this is the documentation on the smartphone that you can see. It's basically the same thing on the EEAP.mobi app that we've been using all this time. The great thing about it is they're capable of seeing that documentation on their phone and utilizing that.
And let's see here.
Let's see if we can get this right, Rick.
They're working on this actually because they had a couple of features that they're trying to work on, and they might be in here right now, not allowing me to log in.
I love that, Rick. They're in there while we're on the webinar.
I know. What is with these people?
Man, those guys are fast moving. All right.
But nonetheless, so there's your documentation.
Yes.
That'll pretty much work. Now, the one thing you are going to need to do is to make sure that you have Adobe Acrobat on your phones, because when you open up the program here, you're going to have to hit it to Adobe Acrobat, and then it's to not take up space on your phone. It's literally streaming to your phone. And so there you'll have your documentation.
Now, the great thing about that is your employees will never have your documentation permanently saved on their phone. That's been an issue in some of the businesses, and so we needed to stream it so that if you decide to part with an employee, all those things on his phone don't stay there. They stream and they disappear as he comes in and off. So let me get you to the next spot that we really think is good. We've talked about the safety lessons and being able to get those lessons, number 1. 2, we've talked about the documentation and getting it there. Now, 3 option is what we call the form builder. Now, the form builder is by far the greatest thing that we have been able to think of in our lives. I know you guys are overwhelmed by the excitement of a form builder. This is basically in the admin screen that you're looking at, the gray screen here with the white center. This form builder, you can build any form that your heart content can think of. On the basic terms of it, let's say you're doing a lockout tagout and you want your employees to fill out the lockout tagout form to make sure he's done it right and taken care of it. In the form builder, you can build a specific, and it's very easy, it's cut and paste, drag and drop system. You can go down, and like Rick is scrolling through the phone here, you can see that this form has buttons that you can click. You can click yes or no or what's going on. This is a violation form, is that correct, Rick?
Yes.
So you can click the yes or no, and then you have text boxes that you can do talk to text. This is a test, and Michael Crowley is wonderful. Okay, so you can see that it goes right there. It didn't put the wonderful part because it's questioning that. I can understand that. But for corrective actions, you can do that. It is something with these custom forms that you can build. So back to the logic. You can capture a photo with this and put the photo in there. So this violation form, let's say you're a safety professional or you're the guy on the job site that's the foreman. You can snap a shot of somebody doing something wrong and then create your own violation form for selecting the yes or no checkboxes, add talk to text, and then you can hit add capture a thing, add capture a photo, and it will upload it from your photo library on your phone, and then you can sign your name on there. And we can also add a second signature spot on the violations side so that the employee who is doing the violation can sign and you can sign. But like I was talking about the lockout tagout, you can create a lockout tagout form. Let's say you're doing a job site hazard analysis on job site, you can do that off your phone. If you're doing a forklift inspection, instead of getting your manuals and your logs, you can do that. Let's say you are in manufacturing and you want to do manufacturing a maintenance log. This is phenomenal for a maintenance log. A lot of us in the field that we're doing this, we don't have the pen, we don't have the paper, and what we're trying to do is work so hard, and our printing may not be the best. Now it's talk to text with a little bit of spell check. You'll look like a genius in front of your boss every time. So all these things, if you can think of this form in this form builder, you can just put it together, get it to work, and lock and load.
So another cool thing is once you've created the form, so the forms has 4 standard forms at this moment anyway that just come standard. After that, you can create all of your own forms. In the form builder, it will only list the custom forms that you have created. But once you've created it, you can add your company's logo. So that now, so when I go here to submitted forms, oh, I don't have one here. Let's go ahead and submit one of these. Let's go back and let's take a look at this test one, and we're going to go ahead and
capture something, right, Rick?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and type my name just to at least send it.
Now, me and Rick are known for our good looks, and sometimes we're slow on getting things rock and roll. Your signature is beautiful. Most people know us for our looks. Wouldn't that be right, Rick?
Yes. Okay. So while that submits there, we'll go back here to the form builder. Hopefully I had already put in a logo, but we're going to see what the forms look like when they're done. It's already sent across here. So now I can bring up my form, click on the form. And I didn't add a logo to this particular one here, but you can see here that's got my name. And so whatever information that I would have put in there would be coming across, so that you can sort all of your submitted forms. You'll have an archive of all of your forms as well.
Now, for the record, I have no idea what we just looked at, Rick. I hate to be contrary to it, but that is the ugliest dang form I've ever seen in my life.
It was just a test form and all. I didn't have anything in it. It was just something to show that you have the ability to have your own forms.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the form builder in next month's webinar, and we're going to show you how to use it so that we can get into this. Because here's the thing. We didn't want to take a whole hour to go over everything. So just know this, even though Rick's form was ugly, and we're going to abuse him later over his ugly form, the reality of it is it's a good test to show you the basics of what it can do. But these form building, I got guys building forms for everything. In fact, on the message screen that I got coming, I've got guys saying easy to use form, and there's a guy out there named Jose. He said he's downloaded hundreds of employees to the employee list, and it was incredibly easy, and it was wonderful. So on that note of it, just know that it's very easy to use. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the repository tree, right, Rick? We're only going to talk about the repository tree. So the repository tree, Rick, maybe they should see our beautiful faces.
Well,
maybe they should.
Well, here, I just wanted to show. So basically what the repository is it allows you, it's cloud storage. It allows you to upload your own documents. You may want to put your SDS sheets so your guys on the job sites can see them. You might have photos at a job or whatever. You can create folders right here, as many folders as you would like. And then your people out in the field, when they click on the repository tree, it'll drop down, and then the folders can have subfolders and whatever, and they can get to whatever it is that you're wanting to send out. So you can upload PDFs, videos, audio files. You know, it could be a company message about a Christmas party or whatever it is. You can get your stuff out to your people.
Now, the repository tree, like he said, we invented this for the SDS sheets, but we found that people want to put a lot of other documents there. And so on the SDS sheet size, on the job sites and with your employees, I know that we put a lot of the SDS sheets all in their workshop. But to be able to have them on their phones if they're off-site or what they're doing is just something that is awesome. You can put job site plans, work orders on there, specific job site information for medical places they need to go to, emergency action plans that are specific. The repository tree, which basically is a cloud storage or a document upload center, if you will, is a great place for that to keep that going.
And that's a new feature that we didn't have before. So I mean, so really now with the trackable lessons that you can
Yes.
track individual employees, big upgrade, the forms, and more importantly, the ability. So if you're in a warehouse and you're doing a forklift inspection or just doing any kind of a walk around or the safety violation forms, I mean, applicable really in any work scenario. Whatever you can create a form for, you have that. The
Yep.
document upload with the repository tree, the lessons. Now we have the audio lessons, soon to have the Spanish. So you could be driving to the job site and listen to the lesson, and then when you're done, sign it, and you're good to go.
Now, the price of GotSafety is a standalone item. We sell for $79 a month, but it is free to all EEAP clients. I want to make that clear. It is free to EEAP clients. Remember the email, rick@eeap.net. You can send all your requests if you want to be put ahead of the list. If not, we're all switching over to this so that we can be done with it. Now, when it comes to the signatures and gathering the signatures, I'm telling you, this is an archaic process that if you haven't stopped yet or you're not trying to figure out another way to do it, this is your ticket to utilize and get to. I cannot tell you enough. This is a dangerous thing to keep going down the road of putting them on these sheets. They're hard to find. They are hard to look at down the road, 2 or 3 years down the road. Did the employee sign it? Can I even read his handwriting? With this kind of a system, this is where the future is in making sure we can collect and get things locked and loaded. We've had a lot of communication with workers' comp companies that when they see this, they go, wow, this is something that I can really prove that they have training records. I can say to a company, show me all your training records for the last year, and they can do a date search, pop it, and in one big long spreadsheet, multiple pages, of course, have all the training dates and signatures of everything that they have. I mean, you cannot beat that. And with our customized lesson process that you can call and ask for any lesson that you want, we can build whatever you want to make sure you're happier in the clam and it locks and loads. Isn't that right, Rick?
That's right. So I mean, so that's one of the advantages. If you do have our on-site services, this comes with it at no extra charge. We're getting everybody moved over. I'm noticing one of the questions here, and it's funny because I know it's something we are working on some other great things actually. But someone's asking about the 300.
Yeah, I
logs,
saw that,
Michael.
Rick. Let me address that. I saw that.
It might be a little bit, but go ahead.
The 300 logs is an interesting issue. In the federal OSHA system, they're coming out with some online being able to report injuries and your 300 log information digitally. And so what we're doing is we're putting it together where this app in the future, and we built this app at the back end in mind for it, so that we will be able to, you'll just type in your accidents, fill out the online forms, and it will automatically put it where it needs to go in your 300 logs. Now I want to make it clear, we are not there yet, and there's a reason for it. The reason for it is the federal OSHA and Cal OSHA need to give us the specific things that they're going to tie to before we do all the groundwork to get it there. They got to show me the elements that need to be reported on when they redo this online system. And we're already being told to hold off by them so that we can get that locked and loaded.
I got a question here. It says, if I do a safety meeting on my phone, will there be a feature to email a copy to the general contractor if they ask for a copy?
There will be in the feature of this. It will not be automatic at this point. I don't know if we put that in. It just depends on what we need to do. But the reality of it is when you do an online training and it uploads it, it'll be there. So if the contractor needs a copy of it, it's as simple as going to the admin screen,
Yes.
opening up, saying, I want training dates from this dates, and sending it over to them.
You just export it to a PDF
Yeah.
and boom.
It's so simple.
Very easy
It's really
peasy.
simple. You'll like that. Rick, what's the next question, Mike?
Let's see. Let's take a look here.
We are the baldest guys in safety, I think.
Can I track added
I think we need
non-EEAP lessons?
non-EEAP lessons. The answer to that question is yes. But you got to understand, what you'll have to do is you'll be able to have to send us the lessons. And if we put the lessons on our site, you're going to be able to have to give us the rights to use them. We will take a look at them and make sure. But if you want your lessons on this system, we've done it for a few other clients. We can start doing it for you, but understand that the lessons I put in are shared amongst everybody. So if you don't want them shared amongst everybody, then you're not going to want to do that. But you may have some lessons that really are important that the world needs to see. And so we're all about sharing, caring, and sharing. And so we'd love to be able to do that. You're just going to call us up here and ask us about that. You can send a couple samples to Rick at EEAP.net, and he'd love to get that through for you. Rick, I think we should hire some makeup artists to make us look better.
All right. So we don't want to take up too much of your time. We really just wanted to introduce the GotSafety. If If you send questions through the system here, they'll come to my email. You're going to get a replay link. If any of you watch and send questions, I can address those too. You can send them through the replay. But we really think this is going to be a fantastic thing for you.
There's no more questions, Rick?
I don't see any other questions at this time.
It is on Android and Apple.
It is on Android and Apple, but now is the exciting part, Michael.
Oh, yes, right.
You can't forget, we have to give away a Green Mountain Grill smoker.
We do love the smokers. Let me tell you, as you can see, we're probably larging in size with all the conventions we've been going to and driving. We probably need to work out more. Anyways, we've got a smoker to give you. Davy Crockett, Green Mountain Grill smoker. We got the question of the day, Rick. The question of the day.
Question is, what year was EEAP? What year did EEAP start doing business?
What year did EEAP? And I
the first person to call. Do not answer through the system here. You must call.
The number is 800-734-3574. Again, that is 800-734-3574. I've got people that are already putting it in the webinar chat string. You do not win anything by putting it there. I want to make that clear. You must call the phone line so we can act like we're real radio professionals here and do this. 800-734-3574. We're going to wait here forever in a day. Our phone is on mute, so people are calling in. We're waiting for the wonderful girls in scheduling to bring us to them. Let me just say, Jennifer, you're saying boo. I don't know what to tell you, Jennifer. You can't just scream it online. You got to call in. We want to feel your mojo online, Jennifer. She's screaming online. She just can't take it. Rick.
We're waiting here. I see lines lighting up, but
nobody
maybe
wants a Green Mountain
someone could be giving away the wrong answers.
800-734-3574. 800-734-3574.
So while we're waiting for that call, just a reminder that we will be doing some more webinars and getting feedback from you, and we really want to make this thing, even greater than it already is.
Right. Yes. And
I'm shocked that somebody who has typed in the answer hasn't called in.
I got to tell you, Jennifer, you're the one screaming on there. I'm calling. She says she's calling, Rick. I can see it on the board. She says she's calling.
I'm waiting for our...
How is it possible?
Phone team to transfer a call to me.
Merrick, maybe you should get up and walk over there and see what the heck's going on over there.
There's...
Lori, come on in, Lori. I'm waving you into the room, please. Let's ask Lori a live question so we don't see like weirdos sitting here for too long. Lori... Is anybody calling, Laura?
Oh, they're calling off the hooks. They just don't have the right answer.
You got to be kidding me, folks.
Guys, are we
going to have to give it? We said it. He must have said it 5 times.
Holy crap, people. I can hardly take it.
She's got one.
Well, let's transfer a call. We may have somebody.
I thought nobody was calling. Hold on. Don't get excited.
I'm waiting for the green light.
Well, let me say that we're very excited about this. EEAP, good old Uncle Tom. Just a little moment to tell you. Uncle Tom, my uncle, is still alive and kicking. He lives in California still. We just love him to death. He was able to do some great things in safety. We have got a winner, Lori?
We have a winner.
We've got a winner.
If not transferred us a call.
Dinner.
It's coming.
It's coming. Hold on.
We're still waiting for the green light here.
This is sad. This is so sad.
This has probably been one of the longest times it's taken us to get a winner.
You know what? We're not technically advanced, really. The whole computing of this we had to do outside. Lori, did you see Rick's form online?
I did.
How did it look?
It looked good.
It looked terrible, Lori McFay. Don't lie to me. Good night. These people need the truth.
Hello, hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, who do we have on the phone here?
Hi, my name's Kim.
Oh, Kim, great Kim. What year did EEAP get started? 1990. Yes.
Yes, Kim.
All right, Kim.
All right, fantastic. Give me just a second. I am going to transfer you back to our folks here,
and they'll get
you. Thanks, guys. What do I win?
A Green Mountain Grill smoker, a pellet smoker, so that you can barbecue. You're going to love it.
It's not a bong. It is actually a meat smoker, there, Kim. You're going to love it.
Hey, whatever.
You're easy to please, Kim. We're going to put you on hold so that we can ship that out to you as soon as we can, Kim. Thanks. If Rick knows how to work this phone. It's going to Heather, Mrs. McFay. Okay, here we go. All right, there you go. We've given away another great smoker of the year, Rick. We'll be giving you another smoker next month.
Hello?
This is terrible.
You should have the line on there, Kim. Why?
This is terrible.
Let me see if I de-intercom her.
This is literally the saddest
Hello?
ending to a webinar we've ever had, Rick. Let me just tell
Oh,
you.
I'm going to transfer you right
You
now.
can see we
You
are
got
the
her?
real deal here. We are the real deal. Listen, we are safety professionals just trying to make all the information come to you live and get what you need. We really believe this GotSafety thing is going to be a winner, chicken dinner
Try
for
again.
you. And I hope that you find everything in place. If you are one of the very few people that have been invited to this webinar, that you are not a member of the GotSafety team or the EEAP team, we would love to help you in any way we can. Please contact us at 800-734-3574. You can go to the website behindme.safety.com, which my great large head is blocking the entire website. It's a bad design on our part once again, but nonetheless, we are trying to make you happy. Please let us know. Rick Roman, anything last to say?
That's it. Thanks for coming and joining us today and being clients of EEAP.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.